What is poppin', y'all? It's your man, Cloudboy Bales. Welcome to another episode of Wisco Sports Weekly Wednesday Predictions. We are finally to week 18. Now I know it's not Wednesday. I was celebrating New Year's Day. I was out of town, so obviously I didn't get a chance to really make a video. But honestly, that's not my fault. But everybody was out of town. Everybody was enjoying themselves. But, we're all here, and I'm finally back home. Had a great time. And, it's good. Thankfully, there was no games today. There's no more games on Thursday. We have a doubleheader on Saturday, and the rest is on Sunday. Pretty much there are only a couple things to kind of go over right now. A lot of teams have pretty much locked their place in the playoffs. Kansas City, pretty much everybody in the AFC is pretty much locked in a spot except whoever's going to be the 7th seed. If the Denver Broncos win, they will get the 7th seed. If the Denver Broncos lose and the Miami Dolphins win, they will get the 7th seed. And if both those teams lose and the Cincinnati Bengals win, the Cincinnati Bengals will get that 1 seed. For the NFC, pretty much right now, between the Vikings and the Lions, it is a battle for who is going to get the bye and the division. Obviously, the Eagles do not have the tiebreaker between either of those teams. So it's going to either be Detroit or Minnesota, likely going for the 1 seed. And then the only other thing that we have to determine is who will win the South, which will either be the Falcons or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If the Buccaneers win, they will get it. If the Buccaneers lose and the Falcons win, it will be the Falcons. So a couple things to go over, but that's all I'm really going to go over. A lot of these matchups are obviously games that really have no meaning. But I'm just going to go over, I'm really going to do a full depth analysis on the ones that really do. So without further ado, let's get down to business. First game, we have the Cleveland Browns taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore's already pretty much has clinched the 3rd seed. Cleveland is out. This game's meaningless, but I feel like this will just be an easy Baltimore victory because Cleveland just hasn't been able to do anything. Next up, Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cincinnati Bengals obviously are looking to basically put themselves in the playoffs. They do have to rely on 2 other games, but Cincinnati needs this way more than Pittsburgh, so I'm going to go with Cincinnati. Going on to Sunday, Carolina Panthers at Atlanta Falcons. If Atlanta wants to get into the playoffs, they're going to have to win this game, so I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. They feel like they have more going for them. The Washington Commanders at the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas is pretty much done for the season. Washington, they do kind of can play for the 6th seed. It's either going to go to Washington or Green Bay, depending on what happens. Washington, I believe Washington will win, though, and they will get the 6th seed. They will take the victory against the Dallas Cowboys. Next up, Chicago Bears at Green Bay Packers. I feel like Packers are not really going to rest anybody. I feel like they just need some momentum going into the postseason. Likely to face the Philadelphia Eagles as the 7th seed. I feel like this should be a good win for the Packers. I'm just going to go with the Packers winning at home. Next up, I guess the Chicago Bears. Next up, Houston Texans at Tennessee Titans. This is a meaningless game. Houston really just has nothing to play for. Tennessee has nothing to play for. I'm actually going to take Tennessee to upset Houston. Next up, Jacksonville Jaguars at Indianapolis Colts. I feel like Jacksonville should better off take so they can hopefully try to land Travis Hunter, but I don't know. I'm just going to take the Colts. Next up, Buffalo Bills at Patriots. I'm assuming Buffalo is going to rest their starters. This should be a great chance for the Patriots to actually win a game. I feel like they would try to do that, but I feel like if they don't want to lose out on someone like Travis Hunter, I feel like they're going to have to try to lose on purpose. I'm going to say Buffalo wins. Next up, New York Giants at Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia has confirmed that they are going to likely be resting their starters. I still think Philly wins only because they are still a better team than the Giants, and the Giants I feel like played their best offensive game, and I just don't think we're going to see that in back-to-back weeks. I'm taking the Eagles. Next up, New Orleans Saints at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay needs to win this to clinch. Honestly, New Orleans Saints right now look so bad. They're like even worse than the Giants right now. I'm going to take the Buccaneers, and they will win the division. Next up, Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos. Kansas City is going to be resting Patrick Mahomes as expected. All the starters as expected. Denver, obviously, this game means way more to them as it does. And then I am going to take the Denver Broncos. I feel like it. That's just how I feel. Next up, Los Angeles Chargers at Las Vegas Raiders. Chargers, I feel like could use an insurance win to end their season, so I'm going to go with the Chargers. Next up, Seattle Seahawks at Los Angeles Rams. Seattle Rams, this is also another meaningless game. Matthew Stafford's resting. I don't really feel like this means anything. I'm just going to go with Seattle on this one. Next up, Miami Dolphins at New York Jets. I'm going to go with Miami Dolphins because obviously they need this win. I think this depends, obviously, on the Denver game, which goes on at the same time. I'm going to say Miami goes and wins because they need this more, obviously. San Francisco 49ers, Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to go with Arizona. I feel like they need a win going into their season because they did do a lot better than a lot of people expected, but San Francisco is not even starting Purdy. I think he got injured. I'm going to go with the Cardinals to win. And then finally, the big game. Minnesota Vikings, Detroit Lions. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings. Even though I feel like every single person I've asked says Detroit's going to win, I'm taking Minnesota. I think they are a better team than Detroit. I think that they are the team to beat this season. I think the Minnesota Vikings are the team that actually is going to represent I think they are the team that's going to be in the Super Bowl this year. I think the Lions' injuries are going to overwhelm them. I think Philly will choke and they will lose to Green Bay in the first round just because their coach sucks. I think the Vikings are going to be going to the Super Bowl this year. I can't believe I'm saying this. I think they are going to be in the Super Bowl. I didn't think I'd say that, but here I am. I think Minnesota will beat Detroit. They will win the division. They will get the bye, and they are going to be the team that just nobody can beat at home because it's just Minnesota has just not been able to win a game at home. They just have been unstoppable this season. But you know what? They could be upset. It's possible. I don't know, but in my opinion, I think the Lions will. I think the Lions will go down at home. I know it's crazy. So if you like what you see, subscribe below, comment with your thoughts, and as always, we will see you obviously next week as we officially start the weekly Wednesday predictions for the wild card round. We'll see you next time. Peace out. Happy New Year.